see they brought you up right. You can sit down again.
Cower this and down, lad.
Cower this end down, lad. I bet how Tom taught you that. That's what my mother used to say to him. Cower this end down, lad.
Gets quite a few blank stares back home in Nebraska, though.
Nebraska, it has a few blank stares south of Stockfoot. Do you take it with milk and sugar?
Has it? Oh, yes, both, please.
How much sugar?
2 lumps will be fine.
Oh, well, it's spoonfuls. You better have a heaped up one.
Okay. But I never thought of Britain as having mission stations.
You what?
The mission. I mean, I always more or less associated them with Africa or Asia.
Oh, aye, when monsoon starts, we're stacked out with malaria victims.
Well, I'll be darned. As a travel agent, I ought to make a note of that.
Well, you never told me you were a Oh, I fell for that one.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. You're just like your granddad. He always used to like to catch me napping.
Ah, that's good.
Well, you're a right Schofield, aren't you? You can see our Tom's eyes. The rest of you's a bit Yankeefied, though.
Well, I guess that sometimes happens to American citizens, Mr. Sharp.
Now, look, if I'm going to be your Auntie Enid, I don't want any more of the Miss Sharples. Even if you are American, you still want it family.
Right. Great Auntie Enid.
Must say it's a bit sudden, though.
Sudden?
Sudden to suddenly discover you've got a string of relatives you know naught about. How many more of them are you?
Well, Grandpa Schofield had 2 sons. My father, Tom, and Clifford, who was killed in the war. I have 2 sisters, Joan and Allison. Joan is married to Ed, and they have 3 children.
All right. It's enough to be going on with.
I suppose it is.
Oh, you can't beat your relatives coming in the normal way. One be one, and with 9 months' warning.
Must sound quite overwhelming.
Overwhelming? Family comes in job lots. It doesn't even sound decent.
Well, we all know about you from Grandpa Schofield. He used to talk an awful lot about his little Ena.
Little Ena. I bet that sounds a bit daft to you now, looking at me.
No, not really.
You know, I said goodbye to our Tom in 1912. That's over 50 years ago. 50 years.
It's a long time.
Yes, I was 17 years old at the time. I cried my eyes out. My mum, and our Alice.
Oh, is Great Aunt Alice still there?
No, she went a year or 2 back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She never had much of a life. They call them the good old days, but they weren't as good as all that. I was kissing shuttles and sucking west for 12 and sixpence a week. Do you know we couldn't even scrape up the fare to wave our Tom away from Liverpool?
You know, Grandpa Schofield always said if he had more money, he would have taken that new White Star liner.
His old stick fancied that ship, didn't he?
Titanic.
Yeah, Titanic. Let's top your tea up.
Oh, thank you.
I hear you stuff out of coffee over there.
Most of the time. You see, our tea's a little indifferent. Sort of like English coffee. You don't know whether to drink it or to put it down to cure woodworm. You know, I never could understand how you and Grandpa Schofield lost touch with one another.
Oh, it happens, lad. Flood, famine, war, the world's full of lost relatives. You can lose them about trying.
It's only me. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had company.
All right, then don't stand there, Diddley. This is my friend, Minnie Colwell. This is my great-nephew, Tom Schofield.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs.
Oh,
Colwell.
I'm pleased to meet... I didn't know you had a great Ena.
No, neither did I. He's the advert.
Oh.
You remember our Tom that went to America?
Oh, yes, I've heard you speak about him.
Well, he's part of the result. And from what I've heard, there's a whole tribe of them where he come from.
Oh, I thought you were American, only I didn't like to say in case you weren't and got offended.
It's my pleasure, Mrs. Colwell.
Hey, there's something you still haven't told me about him,
Yes?
our Tom. Is he still...
Alive?
Yeah.
I'll say. He's as sprightly as you are and just about as irascible as... well, I guess it's a family characteristic.
I never noticed anything, Ena. What does irascible mean?
It means blood is thicker than the Atlantic, love.
Oh, I think that's very nice.
Well, I think I'll trot round and see Emma. Again? Yes, again. Oh,
Well, don't kiss her. I don't want you giving the twins a cold.
Kiss her? What makes you think we do things like that? No, it's more a sort of intellectual understanding.
Well, it still makes a red mark on your shirt collars. You want to try scrubbing off intellectual understanding sometime.
I'd go if I were you, kid. You can't win. Right.
Ken,
Hmm?
you know that money?
What money?
The money for the new house?
Oh, not again.
No, I was thinking we could buy a car.
A bit of a jump, isn't it?
Well, couldn't we?
Oh, yes, we could. We could buy all sorts of things, but it happens to be for a new house.
Ken, I don't want to leave the street. If we had a car, we could take the twins out every weekend. I mean, there's not much we can do during the week anyway, is there?
Very good argument for leaving, isn't it? If we had a house and a bit of garden, we'd be able to see it all week.
I'd rather see my neighbours. It's all right for you. You're out all day.
Yeah, let's drop it, shall we, love? We're just going round in circles, you know.
And there's something else.
Oh, what's that?
I need an electric boiler.
Yeah, it sounds logical. Oh, what?
An electric boiler for
What?
the nappies.
What's wrong with the washing machine?
Yes, but it doesn't boil them.
Well, they don't need boiling.
They do. My mother always said that nappies
Right,
ought to
right.
be... Eh?
Is that right, love? You say we need a new boiler, we need a new boiler.
Oh,
We're on the same side, you know.
yeah.
It's going to make a bit of a hole in that house deposit, though, isn't it? Ah. Hello.
Oh, hello. Are you coming to Rovers, Ken?
That's a good idea.
We've
yeah.
got old Chadwick up piano. Should be a good night.
Right. Well, if you don't want me for anything, then, love.
No, that's all right. I'll see you both over there.
What about the twins?
The twins? Oh, you mean our joint responsibility?
Yeah.
Oh, well, one of us will have to stay in then, won't they?
All right. I'd better get on there.
No. Stay there, Uncle Albert. What do you mean, love?
I was just wondering which night they're your responsibility.
Well, every night.
Except when you want to go out.
Look, I'm just going to the Rovers. If you want to go, you can go another night.
Don't you think it's a bit selfish?
Yes, probably a bit. Then men are selfish, aren't they?
If anybody goes out tonight, it ought to be me.
Hey, look, the thought hadn't crossed your mind a minute ago, and I'm just going out for a few minutes if they want to drink, right? Come on, Uncle Albert.
Right.
Decide which boiler you want, love.
Oh, well, I don't know myself.
Hey, have you got a light, Stan?
You what?
A light?
A light? Oh, hang on a minute. It's somewhere.
Not a light, ale.
You
want one of my flags?
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get it somewhere. There we are. Hello.
What have you got there?
Huh?
Feels like a piece of wood.
Oh, blooming no, that.
It's like cheese to me, Stan.
It is cheese. Half a pound. I should have given it Hilda this morning. Oh, half a pound of Lancashire there. I feel like a nibble.
No, thanks, I roll me home.
She'll brain me. That's impossible, mate.
Hey, have you ever heard of a beer and cheese competition?
What?
A beer and cheese competition, straight up.
Oh, what do you do?
Well, one fella drinks a pint of beer, and another eats half a pound of cheese. And the one who finishes first wins.
You mean it's a race between a fella supping a pint of bitter and someone eating a hunk of cheese?
Yeah.
You're joking.
And that? Ah, there's a catch, though.
Go on, I'll buy it.
Well, the fella that drinks the pint of bitter, he has to do it with a teaspoon.
Well, it still win, though. Never. You can wallop up a piece of cheese quite easily. Couple of bites and a swallow.
Oh, I don't know, Len. Be a bit heavy going. We are to drink.
Oh, I don't know. I reckon I could do it.
Well, mind you, I best tell you the golden rule, though.
What is it?
Liquids always beat solids.
There you are, I told you.
But I still think I could do it.
Listen now, but you won't be told, will you? You and I'll have a go, right?
Right.
You got a teaspoon, Jack, and a pint of beer.
Well, I'll have $50 on Stan.
Charlie?
Oh, all right, Mr. Walker. I'll pretend I'll have $50 on Stan.
All right, I'll take it. That's all right, isn't it?
Who'll have half a crown on Swigging Stan, the champion, just to pretend like?
Right, I'll see the colour of your pretended money.
All right.
Jack, can't you do something?
Aye, all right, love. All right, Len, I'll pretend to have 2 bob on.
Fair enough. What about you, Mrs. Walker?
Hey,
How are you feeling now, Albert?
I'm a bit peckish.
How about you, Stan?
Thirsty.
Good lad.
You ready? Right, after 3. 1, get ready. 2, come on, get steady. 3, wait for it. Go! Go on.
Go,
Go on, don't be a bit wider. Quick, come on, get it down.
Steady, Uncle Albert. Nice and
Get
slow.
ready,
It's all right, do better than that.
like an old sinking bastard on heartburn and indigestion.
Lucille, love, now, you know perfectly well you shouldn't be in here.
I can't work with this racket going. I've got exams next week. They have to be very important.
I know, love, but look at them.
Sounded like university challenge, is it?
Love, if you said Bamba Gascoigne to them, they'd think it was something for piddling the meter.
Can't you do nothing?
I don't know. Just a minute. Mrs. Tanner! Mrs. Tanner! Can you spare a second, please?
Yeah, hello, Lucy.
I'm sorry to tear you away from that, but poor Lucille's got some examinations coming up now. Could she study in your front room? I mean, the distraction in here is very strong.
Hey, oh, yes, ma'am. Wait a minute. Here, here's the key. Our dentist's out. It's all right.
Is that all right, love?
Thanks, Mr. Tanner. I'll see you later.
Thank you very, very much.
Come on,
That's
come on.
very kind of
Come
you.
on.
Enjoyed that. That was a nice little Lancashire, that work.
Hey, have you finished? I thought you said liquids always beat solids.
Well, that's funny. I mean, they did the last time I saw it. I mean, I put all my money on you, Stan, in good faith.
You must have got it wrong way about, lad.
I don't think so, Mr. Walker.
I don't mind telling you that were very tasty while it lasted.
Yeah, your Hilda's going to enjoy that cheese, isn't she, Stan?
Oh, heck. What am I going to tell her?
Come in. Oh, I thought Dennis was in.
No, I'm just doing some swatter.
Only I saw Mrs. Tanner go out and with the light being
Are
on.
you in love with him?
I worship him.
I thought he might have moved on a bit since I met you at the bowling alley.
Well, it's only been 6 months.
You've still got a crush on him? Oh, you could do better than Dennis.
Well, I don't get much chance meeting anyone to compare with him. Not with my dad around.
Oh, Dennis is all right once in a while. I think he's aging a bit himself.
Oh,
Hey, why don't you get a job? You meet plenty of lads at work.
my dad says I've got a job. Helping in the shop and looking after him.
Oh, tell him he won't be more independent. I would.
Sounds easy enough, but you don't know my dad.
Hey up. Have you blancoed your gaiters?
Huh?
Good evening, Mr. Petty.
Now, what you having, lad? I think the first one ought to be on us.
No. You can take a round out of these two John Bradburys.
A round?
All right, ask everybody what they're drinking. The next one's on Lionel Petty. And you better give one to that piano player, too. He sounds desperate.
Oh, all right. Well, what is it, lads? Come on, Ken. You look as if you could do with your stopping up.
No thanks, Mr. Petty. I promised the wife I wouldn't be long.
Well, take it or leave it, lad. The offer's there.
Yeah, well, thanks all the same.
Oh, well, I'm not proud. I'll have a pint drink.
All right, both me one down and all, Jack, will you?
Sit down like here, nobody here, Mrs. Walker, will you?
I think that Mrs. Tanner takes precedent. Now, what can I get you, love?
Oh, we'll have the same again, Mrs. Walker.
Hey, come here, Mrs. Colwell. Come here. You're just in time.
Oh, are we having a sing-song?
No, Mr. Petty is going to buy you a drink.
It'll lubricate your tonsils, Mrs. Caldwell.
Oh, I wonder if you would excuse me just a moment, Mr. Petty, please.
Here, what? What's up?
Cheers.
What is it, love? What do you want?
Mr. Tatlock, do you think I should?
Well, if I knew what you were talking about, it might help.
Well, Mr. Petty, he and Ena have fallen out, you see.
Well, what about that? You're a free agent, aren't you? You have a drink if you want one.
Oh.
You know, I think it's no but an armed truce.
Oh, Roger.
Eh?
Roger.
Oh.
Oh, Mrs. Walker, please, could I have a milk stout? Yes, certainly, Mrs. Collins. You know, I've had my tonsils out.
Where's your full back tonight, love?
Yes, where is Mrs. Sharples?
Oh, she's got a visitor from America.
Oh, is it a fella then?
Yes.
Oh, a fella, just my type.
Now, Mrs. Tanner, really. It's a great nephew.
Great nephew? And when did Mrs. Sharples have a great nephew? There, Tom.
Yes, Ena's brother.
Sounds like the end of a Perry Mason story, doesn't it?
You know, I haven't thought about Tom Schofield for donkey's years.
I never knew Mrs. Sharples had a brother.
Oh, I find strapping chap he were at the time. Went to America same week as Tom Mann were arrested.
Oh, well, that just about pins it down, like, doesn't it?
You remember, don't you? When he made that speech in Salford, telling soldiers to mutiny. Just before war.
Which one?
Thurston.
Oh, well, it slipped my memory. How old does he think I am?
Hey, was it this great nephew that put that ad in the paper, then?
Yeah, I think it was very, very nice of him to go to all that trouble.
You don't think he's come all that way just for a social call, do you?
Well, I can't think why not, then.
Hey, Mrs. Colwell, is Tom still alive?
Oh, yes. He's very irascible.
He hasn't come all that way for a chat about old times.
Hey, I remember once in chapel he was singing. Every time he come to a word start with C, he'd say custard, and every time he come to one with S, he said sausages. Onward, custard, sausages, marching us to war. My God, we didn't have his backside leathered for that.
I guess you two were pretty close when you were kids.
Yeah, we were. Anyway, you don't want to hear any more about that. This log cabin of his, where did you say it was again?
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Sounds a bit cold to me.
Well, it can be, but not very often. We're between Sioux City and Omaha, about 30 miles out of Omaha near the Missouri.
Sounds like something out of a wagon train.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're quite close to the old Oregon Trail. I think I have a... Yes, here. There, that's Scrapper's log cabin.
Why, heck, it's big enough. How many rooms has it got in it?
Rooms? Gee, I don't know, about 12, I guess.
12? We used to slide down slag heaps on a tin sheet. Is all this lawn, is?
Yeah.
And what's that thing on the left-hand corner there?
That's a pool, swimming pool.
Posh way of having a bath. You got out else?
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. Letter from Grandpa Schofield. There you are.
Still recognises writing. Doesn't improve much, has it? You read it for me. I've not got my glasses.
Dear Ena, I don't know whether you'll ever read these words or not, but I'm praying that the letter will find you in good health. I suppose we're both getting a bit long in the tooth, although in my case, I guess it should really be long in the dentures. It's funny that the only memories I have of you are when we were very young. I used to be very proud of having such a good-looking sister. Do you remember when we played at being six-day millionaires at Blackpool, and the day old Ted chased us out of Bucket Old Clough? And I'll never forget the time when you sang Onward Custard Sausages at the chapel and got a good hiding for it. Although we've lost touch with one another all these years, Ena, I've never forgotten you. Young Tom will be able to tell you the most important news. I'll write a longer letter as soon as I know if you've received this one, your loving brother, Tom. Oh, P.S. Young Tom's a great...
Gradley?
Gradley. Young Tom's a Gradley lad, but if he gets a bit uppity, just give him a good clout around the ear hole.
It's a very nice letter. I'll write back to him tonight. Hey, what's this important matter that he's on about?
You?
What do you mean?
Well, after you finish writing that letter, what about delivering it yourself?
You mean me, go over there?
Come and visit Grandpa Schofield in Nebraska. He wants to see you. Now, look, I'm under strict orders. Everything's paid for, Auntie, and it's all taken care of. Now, what do you say?
I'm lost for words, lad.
We do better running a naffy at the North Pole.
Haven't we taken very much?
I'm just checking, Float, to see if we've taken anything at all.
Oh, we've done a bit.
Yeah, it is a bit, no.
Well, perhaps everyone's flat with it, just been after Whitson.
It's a boycott, that's what it is. That Sharples woman's behind it.
Oh, damn.
You mark my words, she's put 'em up to it.
Hello, Mrs. Petty.
Oh,
Oh, I'm glad I've not caught you at a busy time.
what can I do for you, Miss Nugent?
Well, nothing, thank you. Actually, I popped in to see if you'd like a ticket for the coach trip.
Coach trip?
Well, it's an outing to the Speedwell Cavern in Derbyshire.
Oh, who's going then?
Oh, lots of people in the street. Shall I put you down?
No, thanks.
Oh. How about you, Sandra? I believe the rock formations are quite swinging. Oh, I'd love to go, if it's all right with you, Dad.
Oh, suit yourself with your pocket money.
Right, I'll have 2 tickets then, please. Oh, you don't want the money now, do you? Well, they're 12 shillings and 6pence each, but I'm collecting it weekly from most people, 2 and 6 a week. Oh, I can give you that now. Yes. Sandra Petty, and who's the other ticket for? Oh, could you just for a friend? Only I'd like to surprise him. Oh, I'm sure you will. Mr. Petty, are you sure you won't reconsider?
I don't want one.
Sometimes I think it's quite useful to mix socially with one's customers a little. Of course, I'm speaking purely as a business compatriot now, as Mr. Swinley would say.
I'll serve 'em, but I'm damned if I'll go sucking up to 'em.
Oh, dear. Well, perhaps some other time. Bye, Sandra. Try, Miss Nugent. You know, I think she's right, Dad. On any road, it can't do any harm.
Now, look, last night I had my first lesson of this so-called social mixing. Drinks all round at Rovers. And how many of them come in here today just to answer me that?
Well, it's not my fault.
You mark my words, that bloated up old barrage balloon's behind all this.
We've been flying, you know.
Oh, you like that, Ena?
Not me. Thought once or twice of going around Blackpool Tower before the war, but it looked too drafty.
Oh, they have jet-propelled Boeings now, you know.
What, around Blackpool Tower?
Oh, no, to America. They go from Ringway.
Yes, I know, I've heard them great noisy beggars. I don't know what the world's coming to.
Oh, that's progress, Ena. You can't halt the march of time.
Why not? You've been brainwashed, that's your trouble. Them great big aeroplanes that wake thousands of babies, they rattle all the doors and windows from here to Liverpool, just so that a few passengers can scramble off at the other end and wonder what time it is. And does it make them any happier or something? Because that's what progress is supposed to be.
Oh, well, it saves time.
No such thing, and I believe it takes them a day and a half to get over it at the other end. Progress. Peace and quiet is progress, not t'other road round.
Aren't you going then, Ena?
I've not said that. I've got to think about it.
When will it be?
By gum, you're very eager to get shut of me.
Oh, no, Ena, I shall miss you when you go.
If I go. Anyway, he hasn't said.
Oh, I'm ever so excited.
I think you're getting more fun out of this than I am. Come in, doors on the left. Oh, it's you.
Good afternoon, Mrs.
Good
Sharp.
afternoon.
Oh, and Mrs. Caldwell. I see you both together.
By gum, it's no wonder they made you a manageress. Well, what do you want?
I thought I'd better show you the list of the summer arrangements for the mission. It's mainly the services, but there are 1 or 2 evening events as well.
Right, maybe having a look.
I do hope you won't think them too difficult, awkward.
No, I don't think I shall lose any sleep over them.
Oh, I am pleased. I must say, we seem to be getting on very well, Mrs. Sharples. It does so help when one's in sympathy.
Yes, well, you hang on to your sympathy. You're probably going to need it a bit this summer.
I don't quite follow you, Mrs. Sharples.
Ina means she
That's
may
enough.
be...
Is there anything else you want?
Well, only the outing to the Speedwell Cavern. I haven't got your name
Oh,
down.
yes. When is it?
It's July the 4th.
How much is it?
12 shillings and sixpence, payable in 5 weekly instalments if you so prefer.
Yes, well, I do so prefer. Give me 2. There's 5 shillings. That's for me and her.
Oh, Ina, you shouldn't.
I treat besides somebody's got to keep their eye on the road.
Right. Mrs. Sharples, Mrs. Caldwell.
Right.
Well, I think that's all. Right. I'll depart then, as they say.
Right.
Goodbye, Mrs. Sharples.
Bye-bye.
Mrs. Caldwell.
Bye-bye, Miss Nugent.
You very nearly put your foot in it, didn't you?
What do you mean, Ina?
American. I don't want it broadcasting.
Well, have you decided then?
No, I haven't, and stop trying to make my mind up for me.
When are you seeing Tom again?
He'll be here in half an hour. He's coming to his tea. I don't know what sort of nourishment he's getting down him at that hotel, but I've made him a nice, big Lancashire hot pot.
Hello, love. Do you want a lukewarm ship? Oh, no, thanks.
Is your Donison?
No, he isn't, Chuck.
Oh, I thought he'd have the day off. I used to be slack after holiday.
He's off like a ground with his tail on fire this morning. There's something wrong with that lad. You know, he's been moaning about his job for the last week.
Well, when you see him, would you tell him I'd like my hair doing?
Yeah, I will.
Looking after twins is hard work. There's no point in letting yourself go as well,
You're
is there?
dead there, love. It takes some women a heck of a long time to find out that fact,
Yeah,
I might
but
tell you.
It's time I smartened myself up a bit.
Good for you. I'll tell him.
Thanks, Elsie.
Anyway, I better get back. Cheerio, love.
See ya.
Now, is Mrs. Tanner this morning?
Oh, don't tell me you want your hair doing and all.
No, that perm I had last week stayed in. Can I take you out for a pint, Tanner?
Oh, this is my tea, huh?
Oh, well, I'll wait for you then.
I suppose you want a cup of tea.
All right.
Use our Dennis's cup. It's all right, it's clean. Hey, Len. Are you looking for business?
I'm always looking for business, look, between closing time and opening.
No, I got a memo from our head office today. It seems that some of Papagopolis' places have been broken into.
What a good idea.
Oh.
You and me'll do Swindley's tonight.
Oh, give over. No, only they said we've got to take extra precautions. That might mean a bit more work for you.
Right, I'll go round in the morning then, eh, love? Miss Nugent's bound to want a few locks put it on, ain't she? Oh, thank you very much, love. I do appreciate it.
I don't know why I bother.
Your tea all right, then?
That was marvelous, Anthony. Thank you.
Can't beat a good Lancashire hot pot.
Not cooked like that, you can.
Best end of neck of mutton and sheep's kidney. That's what goes into a good Lancashire hot pot. Of course, most women put any sort of meat in.
You must give the recipe to Joan and Allison when you get to Nebraska.
Oh, I haven't made my mind up about that yet.
Oh?
This Nebraska, how big is it?
Well, it's about as big as Britain, I guess. Maybe a little smaller.
How many folk are there in it?
About 1.5 million. Although 300,000 of them live in Omaha.
Not short on breathing space then, are you?
Oh, rivers, prairies, trees, forests. Everything. Except Lancashire hot pot.
Why did he come to England?
Well, as I said, I work for this large travel organization in Omaha. We do package tours to Europe. They sent me over to check out the hotels and see if I can't get some of our tours off the old London to Stratford to Oxford monkey runs.
I suppose you take him to these oldie-worldy pubs, is that it?
Why do you ask?
Well, because I'll take you round to a pub tonight that'll never get onto the tourist routes. Got a good name for a Tom Schofield, too.
And what's that?
The Rover's Return.
Hello, Stan. What you having? Half a pint of cheese?
Wish you'd give over. I'll never live that down.
Oh, come on, what are you having, Stan? I'll get it.
Mrs. Walker, I'm not talking to this gentleman here. Would you give him a message for me? Tell him I'll have a pint of mix.
Right.
Jack.
Yeah.
I hear you've entered the President's Cup down at Bowling Club.
Ah, but by the heck, they've given me a stiff handicap.
Oh, I don't know. One of the chaps was telling me he thinks you're in with a good chance.
Ah, but it's practice with bowls, Albert. You've got to practice.
Jack, love,
Huh?
did I hear someone mention bowls?
Oh, love.
And did that same someone mention practice?
I did.
I see. And will he be practicing day in, day out, like he did last summer and the summer before that?
He might be.
Just so long as I know, Jack.
You know what this is, Albert?
What?
It's the lull before the storm.
Right, well, I'll go around tomorrow then. Okay. Cheerio. Guess who that was?
Sid Lambert.
Sid Lambert. He wants me to start in a fortnight social organiser.
What do you have to organise
I
exactly?
don't know. The sports club, as far as I can make out, that organises itself.
Right, well, that sounds like a very good excuse for celebration.
Yeah,
Get
right.
your coat on, I'll let
Payne, it's my turn. You went out last night.
Yep, you're quite right, love, you're quite right. We've got a bottle of sherry left over from the christening party. We'll celebrate here. Hey, Valerie Tatlock. Give us a kiss. Come on, give us a kiss.
Guess I was watching Mr. Petty's furniture arrive this morning.
Oh?
What was it, a couple of old camp beds and a billy camp?
No, as a matter of fact, Len, it was a full van load, and most of it appeared to be new.
Fancy.
Yes. Now, I must say, when it comes to matters of taste, Mr. Petty and I rather part company.
He's slashing his money about a bit, isn't he?
If Ina Sharples gets here, we'll be out within a month. You know, nobody's been in today.
Oh, it's a bit rotten, though, isn't it?
Good evening, Mrs. Sharples. Mrs. Caldwell.
Good evening.
And Mr.
Schofield, don't pretend you've never heard of him. This is my great-nephew, Tom Schofield. Mrs. Walker.
Mrs.
How do you
Walker.
do?
Jack Walker, her
Pleasure to meet you,
husband.
sir.
Same goes for us, lad.
This is Albert Tatlock.
Oh, how do you do? I knew your grandfather.
Hello.
We were lads together.
Mr. Tetlock?
Stan Ogden.
Hello.
Charlie Moffat.
I do.
Mrs. Tanner. Len Fairclough. And what are you having to drink?
I'd like to try a glass of beer, please.
Give him a pint of best bitter and we'll have 2 milk stout.
2 milk stout.
Come on, Mum.
Mr. Schofield, may I say how very nice I think it was of you to call on Mrs. Sharples?
Sure.
There you are, dear. And 2 milk stouts, wasn't it? Yes, very thoughtful of you.
Well, I guess there was an underlying reason behind it all. See, I was hoping to persuade her to come back to Nebraska with me, just for a visit.
I see. Well, of course, Mrs. Sharples isn't getting any younger, and it is a long way. You know, I really feel that all that travelling and the change in food, she's very set in her ways, you know.
So I'm very set in my ways, am I, Annie Walker? You just about measured me for a wooden overcoat, haven't you?
Come now, Mrs. Sharples.
That settles it. When do we leave?
Yes,
I'm not planning on that. I am.
Mrs. Sharples!